Procrastinator thinks that he will always have the same opportunity to do later what ought to be done now. And that's costly. To assume that seasons will hang around forever, to assume that opportunities will hang around forever, is to take a very, very serious risk. Because nothing lasts forever. You will not always have the same opportunity to make sense. You will not always have the same opportunity to do what you ought to do. You will not always have the same opportunity to accomplish what needs to be accomplished. So never give yourself to the assumption that seasons last forever. If you understand how volatile, let me use that word, time is, and how seasons pass, one of the things you want to do with your life is to maximize every opportunity at your disposal. At the time, you ought to maximize them. Many started this year with great plans, and some kept shifting those things till those things were no longer possible. And there is no guarantee that you will not repeat the same thing next year. Again, I told you that the first step towards beating procrastination is to make sure that you are here now. You must finish. This will not be another video you say I'll come back to later. Okay? This will know. That, in fact, that's the way we know that you are serious. So in case you're about to exit, you got stay. We are together. Because next year we can't afford to have you in this shape and size. You must do something better. All right? So sometimes we underrate how dangerous procrastination is. Because it is not forceful. It is not loud. It doesn't seem to pose any threat. But yet, in its silence, it ravages people's vision and destroys their goals till they are left empty, unaccomplished, and unfulfilled. And many died unwept and unsung. You have to understand that. The things you ought to do that you have not done, there is no reward for them. As a matter of fact, a procrastinator cannot earn honor. Nobody will respect you for the dreams and the ideas you have on your head. People will respect you for what you do. Nobody respects you for saying colorful things and beautiful things and powerful things. When they come around you, you are saying so many wise things. In Proverbs 24 from verse 2, the Bible says that true wisdom is a house built. So the true proof of wisdom is in what is built, not in what is said. When you see a wise man, you know a wise man through the works of his hand, not through the words of his mouth alone. So a procrastinator can have excellent speech. There are several things he wants to do, several things he wants to become, several things he wants to learn, several things he wants, but you never just get to see the execution. So what you want to do today is to move from being the talker to becoming the doer. And not just one who does it when it is convenient. All right, listen, you cannot beat procrastination without discipline. You cannot. Discipline is the ability to do what is necessary, not what is convenient. So what we want to do is to form a culture, is to build the habit of doing now what should be done now. That's what we want to do. We want to build the habit of doing now what should be done now. Make the phone calls when you should make the phone calls. Send that text message when you should send the text message. So here is the common mistake many people make. People forget that their life is a sum total of their daily little steps. When you procrastinate small things and move them and you are not disciplined around them, you will not do essential things also because you have formed an habit. You have found a way to bribe your conscience not to respond when you are not doing what ought to be done. All right, if the media can help me project, there's a scripture I want to show you. John chapter number 4, verse 35, and that's a very powerful scripture. John chapter number 4, verse 35, and I want you to see it. John chapter number 4, verse 35. Look at what the Bible says in this scripture. Now, this is Jesus speaking here, so if you have the original Bible, you see this in red. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh the harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the field, for they are white and ready to harvest. Now, what that means is that don't say, hey, we have time, because that's the language of a procrastinator. Nobody has hope like a procrastinator. There's time now. No, the year is just starting. So everything is just fresh. You see, I will do it later. There's time. Don't say you have 4 months. That's Jesus talking there. So don't say I have so and so time. You don't have time. You have to understand that you don't have time. You don't have all the time in the world to do what you ought to do. You don't have all the time in the world to become what you ought to become. You will not have the same opportunity. You see, listen, the issue is that you may still have time to get it done, but not the same opportunity. The resistance will be different. And you see, while we were going to school, there were boys that I observed that, and apologies to anyone who may not have the opportunity to be educated, but please get what I'm saying in context, who will not come to class, will not attend lectures. Some of them will go and gamble and do all that. And you know, they always say things like, I will read when it's exam time. And how much can you cover? Many of them always say that. I will read once it's time for exam. I will read. And you see, when that time comes, they will discover that they don't have what it takes to scale through with flying colors. So what they settle for is just pass and then go to the next class. And what that simply means is that a procrastinator will be of necessity a mediocre. It will be associated to averageness. Once you're a procrastinator, you can't trace anything mighty to a man who keeps shifting it. There's only reward for what you do, not what you think. Nobody rewards you for what you are thinking. Okay? Nobody rewards you, nobody appreciates for what you are thinking. Okay? Your thought has no economical value until you project it into what is viable. So nobody rewards you for that. The ability to bring into real life situation what ought to be done, that's where your honor comes from. So don't say I have 4 months. Listen, I'm going to show you some practical things now. Okay? So don't push for tomorrow what should be done when? Today. As a matter of fact, let me give you one counsel. Anything you want to do in 2025 that you have not started in 2024, sometimes it's too late. In fact, see, this is the philosophy I run with. The new year doesn't start in January. It starts between October and November. You should understand that. What you have not formed within those period of months, you will not have the momentum to sustain it. Every shift your organization needs, that you need as an individual, must have been documented before 31st night. And you must have started. All right? You should start implementing. So that by the time the new year begins, you are going there with a sense of mastery. You must understand that. Procrastination is gentle but invasive. Very invasive. It creeps in gently and silently and steals your goals and accomplishment. Once you're a procrastinator, every self-accomplishment is stolen. And it is always logged in, I will get it done, I will write those books, I will. All right? You can't do life that way. Okay? In year 2021, It took me almost the entire year to write one book. In 2024, we wrote 11 this year. 11 books. All right? By March 2025 alone, we are producing 6 books. And my team knows our work doesn't start later. It has started. It has started. All right? It has started. So there's no such thing. Hey, see, listen, the reason why many of you procrastinate is because you have people to fall back to. I don't have anybody to fall back to. I lead an organization. I sit on the board of several organizations. I have to give counsel. I have to help here. I have to give direction here. People's destinies are wired around what I'm doing. This is what I'm saying. The most wicked person to follow is a lazy leader. Laziness is wickedness. Lack of vision is wickedness. To have destinies tied to you and you are not doing anything around it is wickedness. To know you will get married one day, whether to a fool or to a wise person, and you refuse to build yourself is wickedness. And I've said this again. Many of you didn't have the opportunity to hear this when I said it. That the reason why many Christians are convenient in being lazy is because they are not dating successful people. Period. If many people have, if you have dated or been a relationship with somebody who is successful before, you will not pamper yourself. Okay, you don't have anywhere to fall back to. So don't choose the life that your children will like you because the Bible says so and hate to model after you. Okay, don't choose that life. That your children they will write the list of their role model and your name is missing. Because they like you because they have to. It is what we do in Africa. In fact, it is what the Bible encourages us. You love your parent. But they can also choose not to be like you. And procrastination does that. So there are things I want you to note in the course of this brief teaching today. Number 1, every opportunity has an expiry date. Every opportunity has an expiry date. I want you to look at the way. Sorry, just a moment. I want to set my mic. All right. Look at the concept of fertilization. All right. All right. Different. I don't want to go into biology. Well, it takes one to penetrate and break through. And then that wall is sealed and impenetrable to the rest. What happens? They die. So every vision you are receiving, every instruction you are receiving, you must understand that you are not the only one receiving it. The agenda of God is too powerful. He will not hang it around somebody who is not consistent. There are many people also who are hearing what you're hearing. But the kairos moment, all right, to maximize that is to get in first and on time. As a matter of fact, that you do it doesn't mean the reward will come if it's not on time. Okay? Every opportunity has an expiry date. You must understand that. Number 2, no season lasts forever. You will not be young forever. Gen Z, all right? You will not be this fresh forever. You will not always have this time. Okay? You will not always be called a single. You will not always have the opportunity to be called under 30 CEO. You will not always have the opportunity to say young and making it. Because if you are saying that at 50, they will pull you out of the room. So, no season lasts forever. Once you understand the nature of time in its ability to keep counting, whether you maximize it or not, you'll understand that it is your life that is counting now. And it might be wasting away. Get that right. All right? Now, number 3, you will not always have your same opportunity to do what you have to do. That is, you may have the time to do it, but now the resistance might be more. You will not always have the same opportunity to do what you have to do. You will not always have the same opportunity. All right? As you are planning life is planning you. Something is going to happen. Naira is falling. There will be economic situation. Governmental policies. Things are changing. Sometimes maybe you're a business person, there are properties you have to buy when dollar is around this rate and you fail to buy it, and now you have to buy for double the price, sometimes triple the price. There are things you want to develop because this rate is around this. You can maximize it, and when the currency changes, you can sell at that rate. Even those who are in the business world understand the power. It's called the time value of money. You will not always have the time. All right, get that straight. Number 4, you should understand that each time you procrastinate, you push your manifestation forward. Each time you procrastinate, you push your manifestation forward. Each time you procrastinate, you push your manifestation forward. You are saying that manifestation is not today. Let's try some other time. All right. Let me list out some of the reasons why people procrastinate, so you can learn from that. All right. Let me list out some of the reasons why people procrastinate. Number 1, lack of motivation. People procrastinate because they lack motivation. Some people actually, they are waiting for external motivation. They are waiting for external encouragement. I've said this. Anybody in Light Nation knows this statement. Anybody among those I am mentoring knows this statement. In case you are hearing it for the first time, if it shocks you, wear your shock absorber. Nobody is coming to help you. Listen, you either get it done, or permit me to use a very big word. Permit me. I have to tell you as it is so you can understand. You either rise or perish. There's no simpler. I wish there's a better way to, like, you either rise or there's no, I can't deceive you. See, you either rise or perish. You either manifest or die unknown. Not reckoned to anything, not associated to any accomplishment, didn't impact the world. Nobody is honored for survival. Honor comes when you contribute. You must understand that. So sometimes people say that I need somebody to motivate me. See, until you become self-motivated, you are not qualified to be a leader. Motivate yourself. David encouraged himself in the Lord. So encourage yourself. Wake yourself up. Okay? And get up to do what you have to do. If you have health challenges that requires exercise and changing your diet, motivate yourself. It's more expensive now to be tied down in the hospital. And now that we're in the era of different pandemics and all that, you don't want anything that will lock you down there so that another thing will meet you there and they abandon you. Motivate yourself, sir. Okay? This one that you always see, the kind of life that you want to live, that when you meet people, you want to tell them things that will make them pity you. See, nobody wants to exchange value for pity. The stories that are making sense now, that when you tell people, they say, yeah, will soon no longer make sense, because soon they'll begin to ask you that at your age, you ought to have overcome what your parent did and done something better with your life. Motivate yourself. Okay? Motivate yourself. So, you see, you say, I don't have motivation. Go and, let me tell you, let me give you a big motivation. Go and get the picture of 5 people you know that died young. Paste it on front of your bed. Get the picture of 5 people you know that died young. Paste it on top of your bed. You say, what will that do? It is reminding you that it can be you if you don't do what you ought to do now. You don't have forever to live. Motivate yourself. Number 2. Are you still with me? Reason why people procrastinate. Comparison. Somebody is saying, why should I be struggling to do what? Why should I be stressing myself? Look at that one. That one is not stressing himself. That one is not. They begin to compare themselves with themselves. And the Bible says they become fools. Comparison. They are comparing their season with another person's season. All right? Number 3, which I've spoken about, lack of understanding of times and seasons. They don't understand how time and season work. I love what Ecclesiastes said. He said the battle is not to the strong. The race is not to the swift. The food is not to the wise. All right? He said it is time and chance. Time and chance. When it is your time, the ability to take it, time and chance, that happens to everyone. Do that masters when you should. Write that book when you should. Invest in that business. Well, you see, particularly around, maybe I'm going to talk about finance some of these days, because even around subject of finance. Okay, every investment opportunity you had in 2024 that you failed to invest in, where is the money? You were reading quote that if the money you have cannot solve the problem you have, eat the money. You have eaten the money. You've eaten the money. You are eating the money at the same pace with people who have investment. At the same pace. What they were ordering, you were ordering times 2. I say, shove them around. At the same pace. You had the money. You had an opportunity to key into a vision. You said, I'll do it later. Now you can't even account for it. You can't even account for it. There's no savings. Hey, don't cut that in. Don't cut it. You are not going anywhere. We are here. we are here together. Don't cut it. Don't cut it. I will play low now. But you've eaten the money. No money now. No investment. No savings. One of the things I learned about project is that once you put money inside, it's gone inside. And once you start, you must finish. Learn to start first. Start afraid. You don't need all your questions in this world to be answered. Do it afraid. Number 4 reason why people procrastinate: fear of failure. Fear of failure. Some are pessimistic by nature. They will sit themselves down and give themselves thousands of reasons why what they are doing won't work. By themselves. Thousands of reasons. By themselves. They'll be saying, this factor. Try to tell them many things they can do. The way they will argue with you. Fear of failure. They always have something to fear. Number 5 reason why people, or the 5th reason why people procrastinate, is that many failed to prepare for what they ought to do. So when you fail to prepare for what you ought to do, you might have no choice than to shift it. And instead of preparing again, you keep shifting it. Instead of preparing again, you keep shifting it. Instead of preparing again, you keep shifting it. So prepare. Once you miss the days of preparation, you will be missing in days of manifestation. So whatever you have to do, prepare. If you're running a particular endeavor or this is your skill set, what you want to do is to upgrade and become better, to sharpen your skill and learn more. Learn it. Learn it. When do you start? Start now. Start now. Start now. And I can tell you for a fact, start now. You will not always have the same opportunity. You will not. For instance, the Israelites ought to be out of slavery in 400 years. God came for them in their 390th year. But they were not ready. And they spent 40 extra years that there was no grace. When you miss your kairos, you will have a season that was not planned for. It is usually more stressful. Before anybody will try to doctrinally tell you it is not stressful, ask them if they miss their own season. If they say no, tell them they are wicked. Is that okay now? The 6th reason why people fail, why people procrastinate, is change in the dynamics around them. Sometimes the same condition around the time they ought to do it, now there is a change in dynamics. Is that okay now? Somebody ought to buy property in the last administration, said I will buy property later. only to discover that it can only get worse. Do it the moment you have the opportunity to what? Get it done. Many people have reached out to me and said to me, I said, Apostle, 2024, I want you to hold me by 2025. I want to hold me by the hand and drag me to get things done. Well, I will. I will give you the opportunity at the end of this class. I will give you the opportunity where I can hold you by the hand and get things done. If I list out the number of things I do, and those things can't be possible by a procrastinator. All right, but I'll show you the way out. Hold on a minute. So change in dynamics. Then it affects them. Then they procrastinate. The seventh one, addiction. Oh my God. The moment addiction creeps over a person's soul, what addiction does is to tie your hand and make you too busy for the essential things in life. It can be addiction to anything. Addiction to drugs, addiction to movies, addiction to food, addiction to phone. Addiction to phone. Addiction to TikTok. Addiction to Twitter. You see, you'll be watching videos that has nothing to do with your destiny. What they are saying in that video is India. What? We sit down there and we're watching it. They will advertise donut. We'll watch it. This is donut. They advertise. We'll sit down and watch. This is fish roll. So this is how they prepare fish roll. What is your business with fish roll when you are called to ministry? Say, so it's fish roll. They are preparing you. Watch that one. Before he brings another one again, say, since you like fish roll, see how they make pizza. Pizza. So this is the pizza we are eating. Watch that one again. After you watch pizza, say this is chicken. They are marinating chicken. Watch that. Before 2 hours gone. 2 hours. Kamolahai keluaka. Are you feeling? Many of you can listen. You can relate what I'm saying now. You are on Facebook reel as you finish one. People are surprised around you. Many voices. After this one, something else that does not relate. Pam again, and that one it was comedy. Then this one is a sermon. That one is very fast. Keep it on time. Then this one now. What are they doing here? Is Mr. Beast on YouTube, and then he say, see the game show. My God. Then this one, Aunt game show, relationship aunt game. They are busting balloon. See how they bust the balloon for the guy. See how they bust the balloon. When you are done busting all the balloon now, nothing is left in your pocket. Even the data you borrowed. Be angry. Why are comedians and all the people? See, anybody can post anything online that makes no sense, and they know it will travel far. Who is paying them? You. Many content. Sometimes somebody just post football. I say, see, Messi is going to pass now. See what Messi do. I don't. They say, don't. Sometimes any video you hear, don't scroll. Don't scroll. Watch what will happen at the end of the video. There's nothing there. Say, watch what will happen. At the end of the day, you have watched what will happen at the end of 10 videos. When you are now done, you are now saying, you feel empty. You did that in January, in February, in March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Then January, new year, new me. Woo! Have they not told you that if that is your weakness, social media is not for you? Who is seeing your face? Shut it down and go and reinvent yourself first. Shut it down and reinvent yourself. How? First. Many of you ought to unfollow many people before the year ends. Unfollow them. I love you, but you are feeding my distraction. Some people can sit on WhatsApp status for 30 minutes. He just sees, this guy. So when did she start selling wigs? She started selling wigs. I said, you just selling wig. How much is a wig? On WhatsApp, they will even tag the person and say, you is not even use a full price on what you are saying. They will not buy. They will not buy. Have you seen people that will just get up and say, I want to go to the market? What do you want to buy? They want to go and check the price. Nothing doing. That thing will just tell them, oh yeah, get up now. Get up now. Go and check out how much they are selling that wig. Get up now. Go and check how much. Have you followed the woman to the market before? My God. Or you follow the woman to a mall. They want to buy what they want to buy is 1,000. 1,000 there. But what they will price is over 150,000. You say, well, we don't need to say, let's just know the price now. Let's just know the price. Let's just even know the price. We'll come back later and buy it. Procrastination. Somebody might be in the salon now. Listen to what I'm saying, because if you're procrastinating making the hair since Monday, don't off it. Don't off it. Don't off it. If that's why festive seasons and no calendar that is national around you hangs around you. If it was your duty to fix which day is Christmas Day, by now we'll be in Easter. We'll just wake up and say, let's do Easter now. Nobody who procrastinate does anything meaningful in life. Whether in ministry or secular work, nobody. You can't do anything meaningful in life. Are you following what I'm saying here? And then people need to understand that procrastination is an habit. It can be addicting. It can become your custom. Have you gone to visit the house of a procrastinator? Plates are left unwashed. I'm saying begin from small things. When you finish, wash the plate. Small things. Things as trivial as that. When you finish doing something, do what you ought to do. Get your own job done. From simple things. Get it done. You cannot ignore the simple things and just jump out one day and say, I want to get these things done. No, it won't work. Is that okay now? You want to reduce belly fat? Begin from not eating late at night and stop eating bread. How do you want to lose belly fat and it's bread you are eating? Every time it's you that will open bread and pour sardine in between. It's you that will open bread and put akara in between. It's you that will open bread and put more in between. You are the one that say, I like bread. I came for you because I love you. Are you still there? So how do you stop procrastination? Oh my. This is where I'm going. How do you stop? How do you stop procrastinating? Very important. Number one, detach yourself from your distractions. Distract yourself from your distractions. Detach yourself from your distractions. There's a saying that starve your distractions and feed your focus. See, to your own self be true. Will you please honestly sit down and evaluate what took the chunk of your time this year? Honestly sit down. Honestly. To your own self be true. Honestly sit down and evaluate. What did I invest my time into in 2024 wrongly? If you can't track it, it is worse. Is that okay now? Honestly sit down and ask yourself that question. Starve your distractions. Starve it. Starve your distractions. You'll notice that Netflix is your witness. Take away from it anything that makes you see it. Some of the greatest people I've met in my life don't use our kind of Android phones. I will have mentioned the name of the bishop who loads only 800 naira recharge card on his phone every month. And he used Nokia Touchlight. Dangerously focused. Dangerously committed. They are people of one thing. Start giving to it. Giving to that one thing. Committed to it. Like their lives depend on it. The Yorubas have an adage. Anytime walk in war. The one we are looking at doesn't look at some other things. Commit yourself to it. Give yourself to it. Stop the distraction. If you are not making I'm going to say it emphatically. There are platforms that if you are not impacting life or making money from it, delete it. Who will miss you on TikTok? TikTok is a dangerous thief of time. You watch from TikTok, you watch this one dance. Say, what kind of dance is this again now? Where did they all these Gen Z say? Commentator. Then you go to that one. They see all these prank people. You notice this where go back and evaluate on your phone how much time you spend on different devices, so you can know whether there is a problem or not. Once you are busy with distraction, you are missing in the room of manifestation. Sometimes you may have some measure of accomplishment that may make you trivialize a message like this. But compared to what you ought to do, you may know you failed. You rate accomplishment based on capacity God gave you, not based on what you just done alone. No. What did you do in respect to what you ought to have done? Is that okay now? Very important. Are you still there? Are you still there? Number 2 now. Document your goals. Everyone who work with me, I have executives, heads of different organizations under what we do, from our TV station to heads of organizations that I work with, and administrative heads and all that, pastors. One of the instructions I give to them is that never start a day without a list of to-do. No. Never start. And let me say this. By the grace of God, we make the announcement tomorrow. Femi Lazarus Ministries, everything about us, about me as an individual, is leaving and exiting Twitter platform this year. Everything. Femi Lazarus, so let them be blessed as much as they are. I have my team that manage it. We delete our presence there. The church is there. Our TV station is there. But as an individual, gone. There's no point. And I'm going to tell you why later. Is that okay now? Document your goals. Don't enter a day without documented goal only to be surprised. That'll be that, I did not even accomplish much. What much did you list? Document it. Put yourself under pressure. Write it down. If you can be distracted from documentation, you will not manifest it. There is a way top executives think. If you want to be an high-performing individual, there's a way you have to think. You can't do everything that you just feel like doing. You want to be an high-impact individual, you can't do anything you want to do. You can't. You do what is necessary, not what is easy. You do what is necessary. Never start a day, never step out without a list of to-do. Never. Are you still there? Number 3, establish your priority and value only those who value it. Very important. Establish your priority. Don't be the kind of person anybody can just break into and steal 3 hours of your day. They are not planned in your schedule. They are not planned in your plan, in your program. They are not there. They just break into your schedule and enter, and they just say, my friend, I have come. Let's watch a movie together. And anything you plan to do in the day is starved. You cannot be a high-performing individual doing that. You can't. Nobody should just break into your day and just steal it. And let me tell you this, if you don't plan yourself, those who will use you have planned you. They have planned you as part of their day, and they will get it done. Is that okay now? Number 4, set structures to do only what you ought to do. Very important. You must make sure there are structures that help you accomplish it. And one of the ways to get this done is to live a sincere life. Is that okay now? I need the alarm system to tell me what is next, till I come of age to know what to do next. I need to wire myself with accountability partners, all right, those who can, jack me to my senses, that why have you not done this? Why have you not done that? Set structures. Is that okay now? To do only what you ought to do. Number 5 is very powerful. Identify the opportunities that are distractions. At certain points in your life, as you begin to accomplish, you must recognize that not all doors are good doors. Until you know where you are going, everywhere you get to will look like where you are going. If you don't know where you are going to, every distraction will look like an opportunity. So you must identify opportunities that are distractions that you need to stop. There might be opportunities you've been given this year that they are dangerous going forward. They might be opportunities, but they are distractions. Is that okay now? Very important. Very important. All right, the last one. You must do this. Whatever you know you need to do, do it fast. Right there, do it right there. Build the culture of doing, not just talking. The moment you know you have not done what you ought to do, start doing it on that seat. Don't give it time. At least start. You may finish it later, but at least what? Start. Because many times we only don't finish because we never started. So you identify yourself. You look at yourself and say, this is me. This is something I've seen about my life. Start. Start. Is that okay now? Start. Very important. People are only honored and rewarded for what they do, not what they think. People are only honored and rewarded for what they do, not what they think. People are only honored and rewarded for what they do, not what they think. Very important. You must understand this quickly. Procrastination doesn't just steal time, it steals vision. And it steals accomplishment. Whatever steals your time steals a fragment of your life. And sometimes it steals the most essential part. View procrastination like beans weevil. For those of us in Africa, and those of us who grew up in Africa, anywhere in the world, if you have eaten beans, you should know that there is a beans. Except for places that they processed it well. There are weevils. They are like insects that burrow into the beans. But you notice that when a beans weevil eats into a beans, it only eats the part of the beans that can grow. And once it eats that part, it drops it and goes for another beans. Procrastination only attacks a part of your life that is viable. You still have time, but not the time to do this. Procrastination can clamp on you as a young person and leave you as an old, unaccomplished, sad individual.